All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, Goose, and Morris. No more pain. In this episode, we have special guest Morris Derry. We cover topics that range from mentorship, substance abuse, domestic violence, homelessness, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Colin Powell and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Guys, if you're new, don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, the man of the hour, Morris Derry. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad that you guys invited me here.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, cool. So for those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, let us know.
All right, so my name is Morris Derry. I am the founder of an organization called No More Pain Incorporated. What we do is No More Pain Incorporated is a mentorship-based program. So what we do is we mentor those who are battling or suffering with domestic violence, homelessness, substance abuse, cancer, probation and parole, and things like that. So I created to take you back to how No More Pain came to be. I'm a diehard Tupac fan. Everybody knows Tupac, right?
Yeah.
So Tupac, I was incarcerated in 1996.
Okay.
I was doing a 5-year bid upstate, and Tupac died in 96. So I went to jail in 95. When Tupac died, a song came on the radio, and it was No More Pain. So I actually wrote that down. I was like, I'm gonna do something with that No More Pain, Yeah. So throughout my 5 years incarceration, I created a mentorship program. It was basically centered around on people who were coming in and out of jails at first. So when I was incarcerated, you see people leave, then they come right back. Hey, why'd you come back? Oh, my PO violated me. I didn't have a job. Oh, gotta have a job. You know what I mean? So I would write things down, and I created this mentorship-based program. Actually, I wish I would have brought a copy so y'all can see it. But so I created that program while incarcerated. So when I got out in 2000, I put that program to use for myself. So I made sure I had got a job. When it came to education, I graduated high school, but I went back for surgical technology. What else we do? I just took care of the things I needed to take care of to get myself back on the feet after being incarcerated. So that program that I created actually helped me.
Yeah.
I walked off 10 years with not one violation, which is hard to do when you're once you're in the system, and I've been in the system since I was 13.
Wow.
So, it took time, but I finally got off. And then that's when I was like, let's put this program into use to everybody else. So after life goes on, you get out of jail. So that kind of went on the back burner. I just did what I had to do to stay out of jail, and life went on. Then later on, so it'll be 11 years ago. So what's the date? 11 years ago. So that's 2008. 2008. It's a crazy story because you and your listeners are probably going to be the first out of 10 that know the true story behind me.
Wow.
But I actually used to sell heroin.
Yeah.
Wow. And knowing that what heroin would do to somebody, I still sold it. I was working, and I was, I was out on disability, needed to make some money. One of my friends from Philly was like, "Hey, sell this." I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So I was selling it, and then, me knowing, that, drugs or whatever is, was a bad thing. I put that to the back burner of my mind because I need to, an income. But anyway, long story short, somebody came to my house, bought from me, and they OD'd in my kitchen.
Wow. What?
So I kind of picked them up, drove them to St. Mary's Hospital in Langhorne, in the emergency room, and turned around and walked away. Thank God that person didn't die, but I remember going home, getting to work, going to the dealer, and was like, yo, man, this ain't for me. I can't do this. And then from that moment on, it's been about getting people clean. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is a sign, kind of almost a sign from God, like, yo, that program you're sitting on in that back burner, it's time to bring it up and help people out. So if you think about 11 years ago, people weren't calling what we see today an epidemic.
Yeah.
People really weren't, And I was like, yo, this is going to get worse. I wasn't telling people the true story behind what, how I knew it was going to get worse, but I knew it was going to get worse. And so for 11 years, man, I've been just hitting the pavement, man. For the first 6 years of it was just for me personally, I go out 3 nights a week and just talk to people, man. Down there in Kensington, people in our own community out here in Bristol, and just go out and just start talking to people and trying to see what I could do to get people off the streets and into treatment. And my biggest thing is telling people, I might not be able to change your situation, but I'll make it as comfortable as possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, fast forward, 2014, I decided to go on Facebook with it. A family member was like, yo, what you do in the community is great. People should hear about it. And I'm like, that's kind of more my, my personal thing. I don't really do work, It really wasn't. When I was out there doing it 11 years ago, you would barely see any other any other organization or person out there really doing it. There were, but there really wasn't.
Right.
And later on when we get into talking, I'll really tell you some deep stuff that I've seen by doing this. But anyway, so 2014, I put a post on Facebook about what I was doing, and I invited people to come out down to the city. And this one person showed up. Her name was Abby Anderson, and I told her about this vision I had, and she told me about her passion. And together we started No More Pain. So,
wow, that's awesome.
That was 2014. So this November is our 5th year.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that's how it came to be. Again, like a lot of people don't know that true story behind it. But if you look at everything about No More Pain, so we do domestic violence. So every part of No More Pain is from my personal background. So think about domestic violence. My mom and my sisters went through it at a time where I was too young to do anything about it. A little kid, I can't, do nothing about it. So I know what that experience. Substance abuse. I went through it myself at 17. I went to rehab for cocaine and meth. Got out of rehab, never touched it again. Now, again, like I said in my story, I went to jail later on, but it wasn't for drugs or drug related. You know what I'm saying? So, cancer runs. That's the leading cause of death in my family. So, homelessness. When I went to Puerto Rico, the first 2 weeks in Puerto Rico, I was homeless. So, me and my mom and my little brother and sister lived in a one-bedroom motel in Marsville called a Country House Motel for years. So, so everything that I give people is personal. I'll never knock another organization, but a lot of organizations out there, they're just, they're doing what we do, which is great, but it's not a personal thing to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're out there like, all right, we want to save lives, but they're not really personally affected by their own program. So, you know what I mean? So that's where, if you get into the heartbeat of No More Pain, it's everything that I've been through in my life.
So going from 5 years ago when you met Abby to now, how are you going about and reaching out to people? Is it something where they go to a website, or are you just going out into, as you said, to the streets of Philadelphia and just walking around, or how does it all work? Like, how do you collect?
Man,
or it's all different ways.
It's all different ways, but I'll tell you this, man. So when I first came, when we got out and came out with No More Pain, the United States Attorney's Office in Philadelphia reached out to me. They wanted to work with me, send me people who were getting out of jail. I went and went out and got a job. Quit my job at Estee Lauder. I was there for 10 years and took my 401 and my pension and got an office in Philadelphia and, fit all the criteria that these people wanted me to do, and they never sent me any money.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, why they never sent me anybody, but the email stopped. They started returning my phone calls.
Wow.
And they knew about my past. It wasn't like, they researched me. Oh, wait, this guy was incarcerated. So they already knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just didn't work that way. So eventually we had to close the office. I paid for No More Pain out of my pocket.
Yeah.
We're waiting to get funded from, our government, but there's really no funding in recovery. So let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of money in the relapse, but there's no money in recovery. So, so we came across that. So we had to close the office. Now I just do it from my house. But it's more than just mentoring people. We go out there. My quotes are, simple conversation goes a long way. To me, it's all about going out there and talking to somebody, because you never know who's going to be like, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And over the last 5 years, man, I can honestly say that we helped hundreds of people off the streets. We helped hundreds of people into treatment. I sit in detox waiting rooms with people, complete strangers who don't even know me. You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, I'll go with you. You ready for help? Let's go. But the biggest kicker is insurance. If you don't have insurance, you got to go here. It's difficult. What I do is really difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just going out and giving people food and clothing and talking. It's really, You know, you got to meet people's families, talk to their mothers. I have a strict confidentiality policy, but in my phone, I have hundreds of pictures that family members send me to go out and look for people. You know? So we go out 3 nights a week. After I do the show, I'll be out in Kensington and Philly. Tomorrow we'll be out there. And then Thursday we do Bristol, Levittown, and Middletown area.
Do you go to specific areas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do like, Kensington is just Kensington. We do all of Kensington. So
Sure. Yeah.
the thing about Kensington and up here is I tell everybody up here, if you rip, up here is just like Kensington. You know, it's like we're covered with a blanket. If you rip that blanket off, you're going to see Somerset right here over here on, you know, Wood Street. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just up here, it's more in your house, you know, behind the scenes. In Philadelphia, it's in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's tough, man, but, you know, I'm going to continue to do it. You know what I'm saying? This heroin epidemic and opiate epidemic is really killing a lot of people, man. And I get it, you know. I help dealers off the street. I got 2 ex-drug dealers that are now run their own mentorship programs. One's in California now, and one's in Virginia. So, and they were from Philly. So, you know, everybody can change, and it's not just the addict, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the dealers. Some of these dealers are just selling this drug and don't even really know the damage that is done. They're, you know, like when I was selling it, I just wanted to make money. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot to it, man. But again, like we do the mentoring, I believe that, you know, once people get out of rehab, there has to be more for them, and there's really not. If you're not ordered by courts, probation, or parole, you don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to go get a sponsor, but go out there and try to live and not relapse. I believe you need 2 years of complete sobriety before you can honestly say you got it. So our goal was to mentor people for that first 2 years after treatment, to keep them clean, keep them sober, and help them with, you know, if they need to go back to school, if they need to reunite with family members, if they need jobs, if they need whatever it may be, we try to assist them with that.
So going inside, if you can, going inside the, you know, the minds of the abuser and then the dealer, is there some similarity there where they're just there's a void, or they're just...
It's all of addiction, man.
Yeah.
Even being a drug dealer is an addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just it's you know, and you think about you know, I smoke cigarettes. I can't quit a cigarette to save my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, there's so many addictions out there.
Yeah.
And but this, what we're talking about, is really doing a number of the heroin and the opiates. But at the same time, I think alcoholism is the leading cause of death when you come to substance abuse, and a lot of people don't understand that. But this heroin and opiates are just killing people, young, old, white, black. I don't care who you are. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill your family. It's going to destroy everything. So we do a lot. Like I do a lot of events all throughout the year. We got an event called the Red Rose Petal Ceremony. That's usually in May at Court Creek Park in Langhorne, and that's more of so, you know, last year we had 150 names of people who passed from addiction, and each
With that past year?
Oh, I don't know. There's no names that are submitted to me.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's, you know, it could have been 20 years ago.
Okay.
But we just read each name off for each rose petal and we throw it in the lake.
Wow.
It was a great ceremony. Then I got the Love for an Addict. That I just did one last Friday at this place called Proact. So that's more of a celebration of those in recovery. You know, because people don't, you know, you got to celebrate. Whether you have a day clean or, you know, I haven't touched meth or cocaine since I was 17. And that'll mean tomorrow I can't relapse. You know what I'm saying? I'm 45. So,
right.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how long you don't do a drug.
How do you see when you're trying to connect with somebody and you could tell they're just out of it, so to speak, but you could tell they want some level of help? How do you
Man,
actually
I know
pull
what I
them
do.
out?
Like I said, I don't ever pressure. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be out there and I see organizations like trying to really pressure people to get help, which is cool. You know what I mean? But my approach is different.
Right.
My approach is, hey, when you're ready, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But until you're ready, here's what I can do for you. You know what I mean? So, man, I did an overnight in abandoned houses down in Kensington. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and you know, I never disrespect anybody in recovery, but it's really like the living dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I stayed in this bathroom, and then I wanted to go smoke a cigarette outside, and I'm walking through the house. It's really dark, and I'm like, people just standing there all hunched, they're high.
Yeah.
And I just like couldn't wait for the daylight to come so I can roll. It was one of my missions with No More Pain to do overnight. I'm actually going to do a couple more. But those are tough, man. Going to those abandoned buildings and seeing people. You'll see pregnant women. You'll see people look like grandmoms. You'll see people who look like me and you. Yeah. And you're just like, wow. And I've met over the last 11 years, man. I've met lawyers, doctors. I've met teachers. I've met kids. I've met grandparents that all struggle in this addiction.
Yeah.
So. And I write poetry, so I got like 4 poetry books out, and all my poetries are true life stories that were told to me. So.
Wow. Now, is there something where I know everyone's case is different, but is there like a common thread that you see where it's just kind of like this pain or something that people are trying to escape, or is it like just? Man,
it's anything, man. You can be. I'll put it this way. From my experience, because like you said, everything is different. Every people are different. It's somebody's going through something personally in their life, and this is their end result. But understand that there's addicts who weren't addicts yesterday. Yeah. You know what I mean? And who broke a leg and had to get on pain pills, and now they're the doctor said you can't no more pain pills, but you still got the pain now. All right, well I got to get rid of this pain. And somebody say, hey, here's a perk, and then they go with the perks, and then the perks run out, and then here's the heroin. And it's if you think about it, heroin been around for a long time.
Yeah,
they actually used to give it to the war people in Vietnam for pain. You know what I mean? So they used to give that for pain. So what's killing people now is not really the heroin; it's the carfentanil and the fentanyl that's in the heroin. It's what the heroin's being mixed with. And now they got the Narcan that's supposed to save your life, right? So if you're an addict and I got Narcan on you, you're going to continue to be an addict. Because you think I got something on me that's going to save your life. All right. At first, I was against Narcan, man. I was totally against. I was like, man, you're fighting addiction. You're not. You're trying to. You're giving something that's dealing with addiction that's not an end result. So Narcan's not a deterrent. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm all for it. I actually had to use Narcan 33 times. Wow. 5 of those times the person didn't make it. So. There's been people actually died in my arms fighting this epidemic. It's that real and it's that serious. So you know what I mean?
That's true.
So how does dude? That's like some heavy stuff.
It's deep, man. So how do I deal with it? You want to know?
Yeah. Like so, I'm like
because everybody asks me like, well, how do you deal with it? Like And again, man, I write. I just write. Like I'm almost like a news reporter. I want that story. Why are you here? Why? What led you to this, to drugs? And you'll find similar stories, but no story is the same. You know what I'm saying? They're similar. Oh, something happened. This happened. Now here I am. But the story itself are all different.
So I have this thing where, for me, whether it's just being anxious and having anxiety, overthinking things, or looking at things that happened and just thinking about them too much, where it's like, dude, I can't sleep. And is that how do you work through something like that where the Narcan doesn't work and then the next day you have to get up and just keep pushing?
You just got to keep doing it, man. I really don't know how to answer that question, but I'll just say it's either God or I'm crazy. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I just keep, I got to do it. It's like I got a 3-year-old, you guys got kids, and I'm scared for my daughter. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think this epidemic or crisis, whatever anybody wants to call it, is not going to go anywhere. Yeah. It's only going to get worse. It's only been getting worse. I don't got statistics in front of me, but since I've been doing this every year, it's, more and more people are dying, more and more people are becoming addicted. It's not just a Kensington thing. It's a Bristol thing. It's a Langhorne thing. It's a Yardley thing. It's a New Hope thing. It's a Doylestown thing. It's all in these, communities that you wouldn't suspect it to be. Yeah. If you go to Kensington, 80% of the people are not even from Philly. You know what I mean? So, they're from up here, they're from Montgomery County, they're from Jersey. There's people who come to Philly just for the drugs. Yeah. From different states. So it's really it's big. But sometimes I think I'm fighting a losing battle because it's all about money, man. Yeah. If you really look at it, all this is really about money. It takes me 2 hours to maybe get somebody into treatment because their insurance is not right. You know what I mean? So obviously with insurance, that means money. Their insurance doesn't cover this much money. Yeah. So if you could take the dollar sign out of it, then I think that we can find solutions that can end it. But I just don't think that's in the it's money, man. Either way you look at it, recovery or the relapse, there's just money.
So I know me and you were going back and forth in communication. You talked a little bit about supplying some folks with some pizza. What's that? Yeah. What's that all about? Can you explain a little bit?
So Brothers Pizza in Langhorne. That's where I grew up in Langhorne Borough. They got the best pizza.
Brothers Pizza?
Yes, they do.
Brothers Pizza is really good.
That's up for debate. People debate me all the time. But for me, Brothers Pizza is the best pizza in the world. But anyway, so I grew up eating their pizza. And one day I was at the bank, and one of the owners of Brothers was in the bank, and he was like, "Yo, I heard you're out and doing what you do." He's like, "Oh, every night I got pizzas that I just throw in the trash. You want to take them?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, cool." That was 4 years ago. So we've been giving out pizzas 3 nights a week for 4 years. I think they're almost at 10,000 pizzas. I keep count. So they're almost at 10,000 pizzas over the last 4 years.
Wow.
So every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday that we go out with pizzas. So like once I leave here, I'll shoot up there, get pizzas, and then we're out. Great. And again, it's not just about pizzas. It's about I go out there, I give pizza, and we talk.
That's the icebreaker, right?
You know what I mean? I take sometimes I take out my these 2 chairs on the table and play chess. With a couple people. So, it's more than just supplying people with those type of stuff. And the reason why I do that is because if I was in that situation, here comes somebody with food, clothing, and all that. Cool, hook me up. You know what I mean? But now this person is also saying, hey. I care about you. You know what I mean? I'll if you ever need help, let me know. I don't, and I'll go down there. Here's pizza. You got to go to treatment. No, here's this, that, and the third. When you're ready, let me know. So if they call, they call. If they don't, they don't. I can't really. That's the part where I don't get myself caught up in it. I give out my card. They call. They don't. Then I just move on.
Yeah.
So. And, there's been people, you go down there, man, and you meet people, and it's like, then you go down there again, and they're like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, man, they OD'd and died last night. And you're just like, oh. Wow. Damn, could I have saved him? Could I have done more? You'll come across those, I come across those times, but then, quickly I'm just like, it's not I could do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, once I'm more funded and we have an office again, better facility and things like that, then I'm going to try it again with the mentoring. The mentoring right now is just more on hold because I don't have a place for people to come to see me.
Yeah.
And I don't like really going to people because like people's houses, I feel like a PO or, somebody, so I'd rather them come to me. But right now I mentor 2 guys who actually live in Bristol. And we meet up and we talk and we hang out and I ask them what's going on and just it's more about being a friend and a mentor in a sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So what if someone's seeking help, they go to you, what can they expect? What kind of conversation does it start off with?
It's more like and I actually do that, make the person who I'm trying to help give the initiative of looking for me first,
right?
And that means that you're serious about your recovery or getting clean or seeing what I really can help you. But it's more about trying to see what they need, and if it's something that I can't help them with, man, I got places that I can refer to. There's never been nobody who called my phone and I couldn't do nothing.
Right.
So I'm networked with too many people, and like in this area, like ProAct is over here on Veterans Highway. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people in this area do not know that there's help right around the corner. And I'm on that their vision committees over at ProAct. ProAct's a recovery specialist center.
Okay.
They help people in recovery, and a lot of people in our Bristol area don't really know about it. So we got to promote them a little bit too.
So obviously, all of us, everyone is affected by someone who suffered from cancer, passed from cancer. How do you come across folks who are dealing with that?
Well, cancer is more just of the awareness.
Yeah. We
did a big cookout. I call it the Cookout for Cancer.
Okay.
We raised money for Pete's Sake Cancer place, whatever you want to call it. So that was just more about, my mom's a cancer survivor. She spoke at that. So that's more about just, spreading that awareness about different cancers.
Yeah.
To mentor somebody with cancer, I haven't had a person to mentor yet, but we will. it'd be like, somebody who has cancer and is trying to get through it. I'd pair them up with somebody who's a survivor of cancer. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. So I've yet to have somebody to mentor in cancer, but the door's always open for somebody. I got plenty of mentors on hand.
So is part of the mentorship program, do you use, because I remember, I don't know why I keep thinking of this example, but there's like baseball players back in the day, these guys were doing, and believe me, I'm not trying to relate one thing to another, just saying they were doing dip or chew, whatever, and they replaced it with like sunflower seeds or something. Is it something that, you do poetry, or are you trying to help them replace something, or how does it really work? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, once you're an actor, you're always an act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's about showing people that there's more to life than that.
Okay.
Or telling people, like, when you go through something, you don't have to resort to this or that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? It's about putting people, it's about, changing people, places, and things in a sense. But at the same time, it's just about, you want people to live life like everybody else. You're always going to come into trying times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go through, trust me, I can't even keep a relationship long. Yeah, trust me, I go through things, but I don't allow what I'm going through to affect my life in a sense. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, you're going to go through things, trial and tribulation. I believe to be a positive role model is to be able to share your trials and tribulations as you experience them. Tell people, yo, man, I'm going through something, so people, you want that realness. I don't want, like, put it this way, when I got out of jail and had to go to a PO and had to go all these stupid programs that they maybe do, you go there and that that person's getting a paycheck and they have education behind them. You come in my office, I'm not getting a paycheck, and there's realness behind,
Absolutely.
out my mouth. There ain't you don't see no plaque behind me with a
Absolutely.
bachelor's and master's degree.
Absolutely.
You see a little certificate from Drexel that I attended an opiate class. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And the information I'm going to give you is going to be real life information, not education. And I'm not knocking nobody with that, because there's, there's people that I network with who they went to school for this.
Sure.
But me personally, I'm going to give it to you raw, real. And like, people get mad like when I'll post a picture of somebody nodding off down Kensington, and I'm like, I'm going to give it to you raw, real, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to see. I want you to be scared. I want you to, go in your kid's room and talk to them and see what's going on. It's crazy out here, man.
Now, do you see like, all right, so we're parents, we have kids. Is there something that's done on the other end preventative wise? Well, you know how like we take our vitamins to prevent X, Y, and Z.
Man,
is it just?
It's just, I believe that you have to go to rehab first.
Yeah.
Rehab educates you.
Yeah.
They give you that kickstart. They give you that, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, they give you that clean time to really look at your life. And that's where you have to take in, and that's where you have to rebuild your life after rehab. As soon as you got a rehab, your recovery really starts.
Yeah.
You're on your own. We're talking about people who are not supervised. You're on your own, and you really got to go out here. It's a struggle, man.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to stay clean.
Yeah.
And you know why it's a struggle? Because every single person that I've ever helped has been in and out of treatment more than once. So that tells you that, rehab works, but it's not the solution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What they want to do the safe injection sites now. I'm totally against that. To me, it's like people come in here and then, we're supplying them with the tools to get high. Okay. Now, what if there's a bad batch? Remember, I don't know if you guys really follow this, but I think it was last year, 80 people died, OD'd 1 weekend in Philadelphia, right? They didn't die, but they OD'd, right? So imagine if there's a safe injection site and there's a bad batch of heroin that night, and you got 50 people come in your building and they OD. You're not equipped to handle 50 ODs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, it's enabling. Now, if somebody comes in there and somebody can get help through there, great.
Yeah.
But if one person can go into a safe injection site and get help, they'll say it works. I don't do all that.
So what's their argument that why that is in place?
Safe needles off the street. I mean, there's no needles on the streets. People have accessibility to treatment and things like that, which is all true. The medical staff staff there, that's all true. That's positive. But until somebody says, "Hey, I want help," there's nothing you can do.
I got you.
You know what I mean? That's where I draw my line. Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, cool. I mean, I've been in the meetings for these safe injection sites. But, once I say, but until somebody says, hey, I want help, then they're, to me, it's more about, those things are more about, hey, we have a crisis. Hey, you need to do something. Hey, all right, let's just say we're doing this or do this because it looks like we're doing something. Once you get in that mentality, you're really not saving lives. You're making the problem worse.
So you did mention that initially you had an office and it just didn't quite work out. I don't know if that's one of the toughest things, but what's one of the hardest things you're trying to overcome with the mentorship program? Is it getting,
it's just more getting funded, man. It's all about funding. Like I work and I have to, pay for this out of my own pocket. I don't really do all that GoFundMe stuff because I want people to believe in what I'm doing first.
Yeah.
Believe in what I'm doing first. And then if you want to help me, you help me. If you don't, you don't. Like when I first started, I told my board, my team, if we never get funded to do anything, I don't care. It's not about that for me. It's about really going out there and changing somebody's life. We can get funded, great. If I can, get a salary for being a program director in my program, great. But that's not my goal in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So my goal actually, and I tripped these people out last night talking, is my goal is, I don't want no more pain being out there long.
Yeah.
I don't want no organization like mine being out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my goal. My goal is to one day stop doing no more pain because hopefully the world is a better place. But we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So going back to spreading the word, are you guys, do you have social media? Do you use anything to promote? How, like, for the level of awareness of what you guys do, what are you doing there?
We have a No More Pain page on Facebook.
Okay.
It's called No More Painting. My own Morris Derry page on Facebook.
Nice.
We use the Instagram. I don't really do the websites. I think more people are on these other social media sites than a website. Sure. I've done podcasts. I have my own podcast called Real Talk with Morris Derry. So
okay.
Nice. We did 5 episodes. I'm just waiting for the kid he's a kid in school, so I'm giving an opportunity to do what you guys do. So
okay.
But we do that. Any way I can, man. It's more just word of mouth, getting out there. Everything I do, I post on my pages and get out there. We got the big Homie Claus event coming up in Christmas where I dress as the Blue Santa. Homie for homeless. So, and I'm the Santa Claus of the homeless. We drive around out here in Bristol. We actually come right down Market Street the night before our event. So our event this year is December 21st. It's a Saturday. So that Friday the 20th, I'll be on the back of a truck out here all dressed up. We played Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis. Yeah. I'll be dressed in the Blue Santa. I come right down the street here, man. Picking up donations for the Homie Calls event that's in Philly the following day. Okay. And then I dress a Blue Santa on Saturday, and we walk through Center City giving out book bags full of stuff. About 80 volunteers come out with me. It's a big showing. Wow. And then we go through Kensington doing the same thing. So I got events all year, When we speak about the domestic violence, I'm putting together. Put it this way: the heroin and opiate epidemic took over No More Pain in the sense of a lot of things like the Cookout for Cancer. We only did it 1 year, my first year, wow. And then everything's been centered around this homelessness and the substance abuse. But the domestic violence, we got a 3-on-3 basketball tournament that we're supposed to run out and introduce to everybody. We got so many different things with everything I talk about. So we're getting there. It's 5 years this November, but it might take 5 more before we're really, really out there. But in the meantime of doing those type of things, we are getting people off the street. We are feeding people. We are getting people into treatment. We are, helping people after treatment. We are dealing with family members of addicts. I'm on the phone almost every day with somebody. whether it's an addict or a loved one of an addict. So, it's almost like a full-time job.
So what I think one of the hardest things for someone to even grasp is, number one, relating to someone that you don't even know what they've been through, right? The second thing is reaching out and actually helping them or trying to help them. We did like a little thing just amongst the guys here, and the number one thing that we noticed is how gracious and grateful everyone was, and they looked you square in the eye, regardless of what they were. They could have been high as a kite. They could have been anything, whatever was going on in their life. For that split second, they stared at you square in your eye and said, "Thank you," like genuinely. And you like that energy. You can't lie, right? That just like transferred right into my chest, and that's some like heavy stuff. Right. I have no idea what that is, but there are people who need help, and they are. We did something that was so little, but it was a start. We just needed to start somewhere just to figure things out. But dang, that hit it was so heavy. You almost drove home. You're supposed to feel like you help somebody and you feel like kind of down.
Yeah, man. You look at these people and you see your own family members, you see your own kids. For me, I see, it's tough, man. It was
draining.
What's tougher is talking to a dad. When you have a grown man crying to you on the phone about their son or daughter, that's when you're like, you're ready to cry. Like, damn, man. Like, I understand. I look at my daughter again. She's 3 years old. And I believe that by the time she realizes what's going on in the world with concerning that, it's going to be worse. Wow. So my goal is to make sure my daughter don't go through it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely. You hit it right on the target. I think it's like you almost see a little bit of yourself in them. And I think that's what's like.
Once you hear the stories and somehow tell you like, oh my God, people who are rich, then there are people who always were poor, and people who had this, had that, and people who didn't have nothing. The stories range, man. And they all ended up in the same spot.
Yeah.
You think about a lawyer who was making hundreds of thousands of years, $1,000 a year. Yeah. Now on the streets of Kensington, right next to somebody who's been in Kensington, lived in Kensington their whole life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and you talk to them, and you wouldn't know. Right. Who's the lawyer? Who's who's been here forever? Right. And then when you hear and you look at that person, you're like, you used to be a lawyer? I used to be a small town mayor in Jersey. I have a poem called "Small Town Mayor," and there's a true story about this guy who told me he was Now, they tell me this. But whatever. Yeah. But this guy told me he was a small town mayor in some place in Jersey, and alcoholism turned him into an addict of heroin. So, you know what I mean? I know I talked to people who family or parents were preachers. So it doesn't matter who you are, man. But to keep it real 100%, we would not be doing what we're doing now if this crisis didn't affect the same people who caused it. So if you think about it, the pharmacy companies, right? They admitted that they knew that these opiates could be addictive, right? They didn't really care until somebody in their family got addicted,
right,
or died, and then they're like, wait a minute, we made a drug that's really people getting addicted and dying, and now it's an epidemic. You know what I mean? Our government, like Pennsylvania, Donald Trump, they're all big about this, this crisis, right? Give all this money out to different states to fight this crisis, but that money, so Pennsylvania, for example, we'll say, because I don't know exact numbers, they got say $31 million to fight the opiate crisis, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That money will never get down to mom and pop organizations like mine. That'll go to your already made rehabs, your police departments, your places like ProAct that I network with. They'll go to the rehabs that are already out there. They'll go to already out there programs to help fund them more to get, to help fight the crisis. So our goal now, my business team, is to go after businesses, like Snowco's, big businesses, to help, fund my program. So hopefully that works.
That's awesome. So what's I know you said hopefully eventually you can close the doors, on a venture like this. But what is your, I guess, motivation? Is it because you also brought life into this world, or is it kind of like?
Well, I've been doing it before Isabella, my daughter Isabella. So I've been doing it way before Isabella.
Yeah.
My motivation just comes with, man, that is if I'm not going to do, who is? And even though there's other organizations out there doing it, we still need more people doing it. And if I didn't go through that experience with that person ODing in my house, I still probably came out with my mentoring, but it probably would have more focused on people getting out in jail.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have, and then with that, do you have a substance abuse problem, a domestic violence problem, whatever. For that experience, I had experience in my own house. That made me think, well, what? This mentoring might be able to help a lot more people than just people getting out of jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why, But I think my motivation is just because, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see these, anybody going through this. Go down here block away from down the wharf, you're gonna see it. It's all over this place, man. You go over here on Buckley Street, you're gonna see it. Spruce Street, you're gonna see it. Ray Street, you're gonna see it. Philadelphia, you're gonna see it. Camden, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
So we went down to which street was that where it felt like time stopped and we legitimately
it was
Kensington.
Yeah. Kensington, Allegheny.
Yeah. We literally it and I don't know how out of base touch of from reality we are or whatever it was. We pulled in, dude. I'm getting the chills. It felt like, it literally looked like a movie. It was overwhelming. Just I can't even describe the scene. Yeah. I didn't even know I was driving, and I was like, I just had to pay attention to where I was driving, just to get through the first couple of lights. Yeah. But it was real. It was just there. No. And there was no film crew. There was no highlights of music playing in the background. Check this out. Here we are in Philly. No, dude. With or without those cameras, this is happening, and these people need help. Like it was so real. I can't even describe it. Literally, it was just for like 3 nights. I just stared at my ceiling. Out of each individual, I felt like I looked over and looked to the left because I was driving again, saw somebody, and then like almost like implanted them in my mind so I can pray for them later or something like that. But for like the next 3 nights, that was 20 minutes of my time, of our time, whatever it was.
Well, it was.
We were out there for a couple hours, but that scene was like not even. I genuinely
honestly,
was speechless.
It was like, dude, we just rolled through it. It was like a matter of minutes, and it felt like forever. But it was like hundreds and hundreds of people. It looked like there was a festival going on, and it was just hundreds and hundreds of people just
locked, stuck
in a world.
It was like it was stuck. I cannot describe that anymore. But it was like world was in slow motion. Yeah. We were stuck. They were stuck. We looked over, and it was. I still don't even know what to say about it. It was like it was real. I don't even know.
It was sad.
It was sad. It was scary. It was like overwhelming. I'm like, what the heck?
And being around here, we've seen like someone all high and stuff like that, just one. But when you see hundreds of people at the same time doing the same thing, that's scary. In a small.
Try doing it overnight.
Yeah, like
when you said that,
I put myself in that play. I'm like,
you said that, and it was one corner where there's three guys, 3 gentlemen. I'm assuming they're talking to each other. I have no idea what was going on. And all I could think of was what are they talking about right now? Right. And that's all I'm thinking. And one had a bag, and you start thinking of all this stuff, like what's in his book bag, what's in this, what's in that. So that was just a brief moment. The overnight, when you said that, I'm just staring at you because I'm just like, what has to be going through your mind?
Dude, I'll tell you, man, I got there at like 10 o'clock at night. We were about 10 people in this house. We all were sitting down like we were sitting down talking at first. I went and bought them all food. We're chilling, and I'm just like, I'm like, well, where am I sleeping at the night? And they're like, you want to stay in the bathroom? This is an abandoned building, no electricity. I'm like, I'm going to stay in the bedroom. They knew I was going to be there. Yeah. But then they got in their zone, man, and, I just was dumbfounded by it. It literally looked like I was walking through a Walking Dead movie. Mm-hmm. But they were just standing in position.
That's what it was.
And I'm like walking, people like, and it's just, I wasn't scared, and I was just more like, damn.
Yeah.
So, they want to close the campsites down there. Where do you think they're going? Do you close a campsite? These people are just like, all right, well, we're done. We're going to not do drugs no more. No.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to go around the corner. There's a abandoned building.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, that's how it is, man. So, I don't know.
So, I alluded to this a couple times, but when you write your poetry or when you use that as an outlet or music, is that something you encourage to other people?
Yeah, actually, that's part of my mentoring program. Inside the program, I do a poetry class.
Oh, nice.
So there's different classes. So you have to take a behavioral class if you want to. There's different classes. I'm not saying behavioral. There's a word for it, but not behavioral. But there's different classes that we offer. One class, a probation officer that's a friend of mine teaches. I got this economic. I'm saying that right? Teacher from the tech school who comes in and will teach people about money and saving money, and so there's different things that we do.
Yeah.
But the poetry, that's part of what I do. I'll go and I'll hold a class. People want to learn how to write poetry. I'll teach them how to write poetry.
That's
so
awesome.
We do all kind of different things. It's more, you'll see the people will see it more and be able to talk more about once I'm back with the facility and back funded to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you really need money to run a non-profit organization.
Right.
Keyword
You wouldn't think
non-profit.
that. Right.
You really need funding for a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
So I knew that, but didn't realize I just thought that you do this and then the government be like here. No, don't work like that. You have to go out there and fight for it. So,
all right, cool. So at this moment, we're gonna take a step back for an advertisement. All Around Removal. They specialize in interior demolition and property cleanouts. Contact Dante Reeves at 267-210-9374. All right, so back to our guest, Morris. How do you manage? I know as soon as you got here, you're talking about putting your daughter to bed. You work, you're doing this. How does the work life balance? How do you manage that?
man, my telephone, man.
Yeah.
I keep my telephone on me, man, and
Yeah.
and people know that between 7:30 and 5. I'll answer my phone, but I might not be able to go do anything for you.
Sure.
But after 5 o'clock, it's all it's all open. My kid's mom, she's more understanding, so I don't have a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, real quick. Last question. What's your recommendation? Anyone who's trying to start a charity or anyone trying to start a movement to get the ball rolling?
Whatever you believe in, do it. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, man. Let who lost people. Let the reason why somebody died be the reason why you live. You know what I mean? So, if you lost somebody to cancer, fight about cancer. Speak out about cancer. With domestic violence, speak out about domestic violence. Speak out about anything that you think is going to spread awareness and change lives. You know what I mean? It's not hard to start a charity, or a charity organization. I'm 501c3, and that's the only time I really had to put money out. Is to get that, and other than that, you know what I mean? It's all about your passion and what you want to do. You can start a movement for bullying. You know what I mean? It all we do a lot of that. We do a lot of talking about bullying. Actually, I got to start that soon. School starts soon, so we got to promote our bullying awareness event. So to start a charity event, man, just go with your heart. Wherever your heart's going to take you, man. I believe if you lost somebody or if you didn't lose somebody, you got a son or daughter struggling with something, let that be your fight. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Because you never know whose life you're going to inspire or change. So I'll leave it with that.
Absolutely. So if anyone wanted to reach out to you directly, to your movement, how can they find you? I know you alluded to it earlier.
You can find me on Facebook under No More Pain Inc. or Morris Derry. That's Morris. Last name is Derry, Derry. My email address is nomorepaininc215@gmail. I'll even give you my number. It's 215-416-5248. Call me. Let me know how I can help you in your recovery or how I can help you, period, if you just want to talk. You know, some people call me up, yo, man, I just want to talk. All right, cool, what's up? You know what I mean? What you doing tonight? You know what I mean? So you got to make it fun, man. You don't want people to call you and think that they're going to be talking to a counselor or a psychiatrist. I call, like, yo, what's up, man? You want to go bowling? You want to do something? You want to go down fishing? You want to do anything? Simple conversation goes a long way, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's we had a couple guests on where it even goes back to, you know, our parents. Our parents could tell us, or whoever, your guardians, whoever it was, tell you something a million times, but because it came from them, you're half listening, right? But you went to someone like yourself, or you went to an aunt or an uncle or a cousin, they said it and it clicked or something. Sometimes you just need to hear it from someone else who's not putting all that judgment on them. It's so heavy already.
You need to hear it from, you know, man, I'm going to tell you this, man. When I first started, there's been people got in my face down there. Oh, man, you're just out here trying to make a name for your organization. You don't really care about it. I was like, hold up, man. First of all, you're right. You know, I got my No More Pain shirt on. I'm out here trying to, you know, get my organization going. And when you cuss and use that tone and get back in their face like, I'll go on to the next. They're more like, oh, hold on,
right.
Come here, buddy, don't leave. Why are you so mad? You know what I mean? But if you go down there and let people see that you can be manipulated. People manipulate you all. They try it all the time. Like, come on, man. I'm here doing this for you, but at the same time, man, you just can't just bully me or get over on me or try to play me like I'm stupid. You're just not going to work. And you know, and I got that respect with the people. I can go to Kensington on a block where 50 drug dealers are out there. They won't mess with me because they know that I respect what you're doing. I'm not going to go around the corner and call the police. Oh, they're over here hustling drugs. No, that's not my game. You know what I mean? Yeah, my game is helping you too. You know what I mean? You want to stop selling drugs, give me a call, man. I can help you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you go out there. It's all about your approach, man. I go out there. I don't think I'm bigger or better than nobody, man. I go out there. I tell them where I've been, what I've been through, and they're more likely to open up and let you into their life, man. So
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
All right, so we like to end our shows with quotes, and the first one is by Franklin D. Roosevelt. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. And the second one is by Colin Powell. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. No more pain. In this episode, we have special guest Morris Derry. We cover topics that range from mentorship, substance abuse, domestic violence, homelessness, and much more. We wrap the episode up from quotes from Colin Powell and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.